Stiamo partendo. E allora, benvenuti a tutti a questo momento molto speciale di Contaminazioni Feste, che è questa attività che Enimoro fa a fine anno. Ogni anno ci ritroviamo per raccontarci quello che abbiamo fatto nel corso dell'anno precedente. La nostra è un'associazione operante a Messina, ma non soltanto. Lavoriamo anche da quest'anno a Roma. Non a caso qui con noi c'è Michela, lavoriamo a Bologna, lavoriamo a Milano, non a caso c'è Caterina, ma lavoriamo anche in Rwanda, non a caso sono collegati i ragazzi del Petitè Seminaire. A me tocca soltanto presentare e fare un po' da regia, quindi fra un po' magari mi eclisserò o scomparirò. In ogni caso noi come associazione siamo molto contenti di aver messo su questa organizzazione di questo forum su questa piattaforma. Questo festival normalmente noi lo realizziamo in presenza e quindi lo facciamo sul nostro territorio in provincia di Messina. Quest'anno in realtà abbiamo voluto trasformare la difficoltà di non poterlo fare in presenza in una risorsa. E tra le opportunità che ci siamo voluti inventare quella di oggi, questo forum Diritti a Scuola, che vuole indicarci una prospettiva ma anche una direzione di impegno, e abbiamo voluto mettere assieme tre pezzi di mondo. Ci sono i ragazzi della Rete degli Studenti di Messina che vanno a scuola appunto a Milazzo, i ragazzi di Roma e i ragazzi di Ndera. Io mi fermerò qui con la presentazione, passo subito la parola a Marica, che è la nostra responsabile dei progetti in Rwanda e che presenterà un po' questa iniziativa, e poi in qualche modo Caterina ci darà una mano con la gestione dell'attività. Per chi ci sta seguendo su YouTube, chiaramente questa, a differenza delle altre attività, degli altri step che abbiamo fatto all'interno di Contaminazioni Fest, questo forum ovviamente si svolgerà in lingua inglese per favorire appunto questo ponte di comunicazione tra le ragazze e i ragazzi coinvolti. Io ringrazio e passo la parola a Marica.
Mamma mia. Aspetta. Ok? It's okay?
Marica.
Okay. Good afternoon. Enimorolus is very, very happy about this moment of exchange. For us, it is very important to build the bridges. Today, we are doing just that as part of a big event that Enimorolus organizes every year, called Contaminazioni Fest. Welcome to students in Rwanda of Petit Seminaire di Ndera and Liceo Scientifico in Pallomeni di Milazzo and Trinità dei Monti di Roma, se non sbaglio, Liceo Scientifico Trinità dei Monti, ok?
Liceo Linguistico Trinità dei Monti.
Sente più. Marica, non ti sentiamo in questo momento?
Oh, yes. No, sì. Okay. Welcome in this meeting, and now Caterina will speak.
Thanks, Marica. Thanks, Domenico. Good afternoon, everybody. Before we start with the questions about today, I'd like to present you Enimorolus. Enimorolus was born in 2003 after a strong experience in Bosnia and in Herzegovina. It was established with the aim of promoting the values of peace, justice, social justice, and human rights through initiatives of awareness and solidarity in favor of the population affected by the Balkan conflict. We are a group of people who sharing common values, and we decided to move actively because we believe starting from small steps, it's possible changing the world. And today, Enimorolus promotes the values of peace, social justice, human rights, integration, interculturality, and the fight against the mafia. The name of our association underlines how strong we want to say anymore to all the bad events and the problems afflicted our world. And as the child in our logo, we see the world upside down, and with the simplicity of the children, we want to challenge the selfish society, because we're convinced that life is a value and another world is possible. From 2003 and the following years, the horizons are broadened, and individually or in groups, new experiences of international volunteering are lived. First, collaboration in Italy and abroad, and some gestures of reciprocity sprout and grow. Cooperation projects are activated in Eritrea, Rwanda, and finally in Gambia and Uganda. While in Italia, the commitment to integration, interculture, and the fight against the mafia continues. Our association, the mission of our association is building the cities of the future, and we invest in education and in promotion of legality, reciprocity, solidarity, cooperation, and social justice. Our motto is the world moves if we move. Peace, social justice, and the protection of human rights are concrete objectives enshrined in the fundamental charters of humanity. And every year we made intervention and position on specific topics through conferences, seminars, communication campaigns, events, and petitions. Concrete projects and programs are made from our territories to other realities of the south of the world. And now we can start with the questions. So first, we would like to ask to each of you to better know and understand different realities and create this bond between your institutes to introduce your school and your country. Who wants to start?
Okay, if I want, I can start by introducing my city and my school. Okay, so posso iniziare? Okay, so hi, my name is Carolina Salati, and I am a student at the Sacred Heart High School in Rome. The school is located in the center of the city, and in the school it is possible to study many languages such as English, Spanish, and also French. In my school there are less students than other schools, but that makes us like kind of family. And in our school there are in our school building there are a lot of places where we can hang out together, and sometimes our teachers take us to the terrace so we can do lessons there. One thing that I like about my school is that students can take part in exchange programs all over the world, and this is in order to interact with all the students from other nations. And in this program, all the students can live and study in another country for around 4 weeks, and they are hosted by a host family. And for example, one of my classmates, Martina, had the opportunity of living in Mexico while being hosted by a Mexican host family, and she was guided by a host sister, and she had the opportunity to study in a Mexican high school. And another thing I would like to add is that my school also helps us to become more globally engaged thanks to culture and languages that we study. If you want, I can also talk about my city, Rome, but I don't know if someone else.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, so as I said, I live in Rome, that is the capital of Italy, and this is a city that has a story that starts millions of years ago. And here there are many monuments and also many pieces of arts from different historical periods. Moreover, in Vatican City, there is the Pope, and the weather in Rome is nice, and there are 4 seasons. 2 are hot and mild, and the other 2 are cold and quite freezing. Our summer starts from June to September, and that is different from Africa, for example. And we don't go to school at that time. We start school during autumn, so at September, and our winter starts in December. Also in Rome, there's the parliament and the headquarters of the Italian government, where the president of the Italian Republic works. And Rome is located on 7 hills, and it is 20 kilometers away from the sea. However, all the beautiful landscapes of Rome sometimes cannot be enjoyable due to crazy amount of traffic that there is in the city, and this also causes the pollution, and sometimes it's even more impossible to move from a part of the city to another one. And also we can say that in Rome there are many universities. Both public and private institutions, and therefore students here can study many subjects, and they can work in plenty of areas.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Who next? Guys from Rwanda. Can you introduce your school and your country?
Hi. My name is Ashir. And we're from the main seminary
As you understand,
Our
school is a seminary. Means that it is a school that aims at the formation of future priests and Christians, both aiming at the well-being of the country and we as Christians also. So, giving some few comments on our school. So, as I said earlier, it is the school that aims at educating us, forming us in spiritual way, and it's adverse activities like the what? Like tournaments. Like we usually play many games. We have some tournaments and have some trainings. Not only trainings within the school, we also get some opportunities to get out of the school, and we can have some further trainings outside the school. So I don't think that I have many things that I can say on the workings of our school, unless my partner here might have something to tell you. So if he doesn't have something to tell you, I can proceed with our country.
Hi, my name is Savio Dominic. As my partner was saying, our school is a Catholic boarding school aimed at formation of future priests and Christian with the purpose of serving the country and the Catholic Church. What I can add on what he was saying is that our school is based on Catholic Church so much. So we used to pray so much in a Catholic way. And we have many activities like studying, sporting, and also making debates on various topics.
So moving on our country.
Hi. My name is Jean-Marie. As my fellows were saying, we study according to the Catholic Christian Church, and as one of the students said, we learn English, we learn French, and we learn Latin also. As Latin is the main language used in the Catholic Church, so we get some knowledge about Latin. We also study some concepts about philosophy. I guess that is what my colleagues had forgot to tell you about our school.
After that formation we're given here at school, we're given the opportunity to continue to the major seminary where we can become priests for those who have the vocation, or for others to go and study abroad in the Western countries. Like some of us went to America, others went to Canada, others went to Europe, stuff like that. Some study aviation, some study mechatronics and stuff like that. And talking about a country is Rwanda, whose capital city is Kigali. It's located in East Africa. Most of the things we know of is having the gorillas and the gorillas, some of the few remaining ones in the whole world. I don't think I have more than that you can add on. Thank you.
Something I can add on the history of our country as Rwanda. Something I can add on the history of our country as Rwanda has faced many problems like the genocide. You already know that in 1994, Rwanda faced the genocide. Since this time, Rwanda has been trying to rebuild the country and rebuild the hearts of the people, because many people were depressed of that effect that happened in 1994. So Rwanda has been rebuilding the country by setting laws. Like now,
Okay, so next. Nobody? We go on with the second question. Okay. What value do you attribute to your education? What are your expectations for the future? And it's your intention to continue studying? If yes, how?
If you want, I can try. Okay, so my name is Beatrice Bucci. I'm from Rome, from the Sacred Heart. And I think education is at the main place, or one of the most important things we have, because education takes place where ignorance is, if ignorance isn't here, we can beat it with education. And that's very important, because thanks to education, we can understand all the limits that people have, and we can understand all the concepts that they're trying to tell us. In my life, I would like to continue to study after high school, and I would like to study law at university, and this is one of my main purposes in life, because that's something that I've loved since I was little. So yeah, that's pretty much. But yes, I think that's very important, because beating ignorance is one of the most important thing we have, because if we don't have anything else, because we don't have anything to talk about. We can be controlled by somebody else, of course, because if you don't know what you're going through, you don't know what people want to impose you. So it's important to beat that.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
If you want, I can go.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, before we didn't talk. We are in representation of the city of Messina. We are students of the Polo Liceale Bimpallomeni, union of 3 different high schools, linguistic, classic, and scientific high school. Here we are from classical and scientific. And we come from Milazzo, but we represent the whole province of Messina. There is a particular territory here in Sicily because problems every day we have to challenge with are extremely important also in our life. From the first thing I think about is all the problems generated by the big industrial net that lives around us, the famous, I ironically say, Valle del Mela. Is well known for all the health problems that its people have, but our territory is not the bad it is told. Luckily, there are so many positive aspects that we have to mention. It's a beautiful territory for all its natural aspects. For example, here in front of Milazzo, you have the famous Aeolian Islands. They are well known worldwide, but it's important to find like a stability between negative and positive aspects of a territory, and look at the positive ones to try to work on the negative ones to try to change them. And we are also a part of a student organization that is spread in all Italy, but here we represent the Sicilian delegation, and we are really really grateful to be a part of this dialogue, because one of our common value that we all members share is the importance of the dialogue with other people. In this case, the opportunity to talk with other students of other reality, Italian and not, and it's truly important. Personally, answering to the second question, personally, I want to continue studying, and I want to follow one of my biggest passion, medicine. I hope I can continue studying in the public education, and I'd like to focus just 1 second about this little point. And I'm sorry because if I'm not wrong, the Roman school is a private one. I'd like just one moment to talk about this. Personally, I think that in the future, one of the points our society has to focus on is that education is not a fact of money. I'm sorry for my English. I don't speak it very well, because education is an important right that has to be guaranteed to truly everybody, and all the people have to be all the nations have to give to the people the same opportunities. So what I hope is that in the future we will go over this division that is truly present in our in our present, but nothing against private education. It's clear, but we have talked about ignorance, about different kinds of education that are basically the fundamental limit of our society, because it's very true. I know it's wrong, grammatically wrong what I just said, but it was to highlight that it's true. In 2020, ignorance is the problem, and COVID-19 has highlighted this aspect. But we have to fight it, and the only way to fight it is to put everybody on the same level and give everybody the same opportunity, in order to not have any more stairs, many levels, but have one single floor where everybody can be who they want, and everybody have the same opportunity. I'm sorry for this little pause, but I thought it was important to highlight it, because I think it's the center of the problem maybe we are going to mention in the dialogue.
Yeah, you answered the next question, so it's fine. It's not a problem. So the Rwandan guys.
Hi again.
Hi. Can you tell us how important is studying?
Yeah, the second question.
Yes.
Which we're asking the value attribute to education. According to me, education is the pillar of development. It is the basic thing each and every person in this world needs so as to develop. Because as I have seen from various examples, the most developed peoples in this world are the educated ones. That is the first proof to show that education is the pillar of development. Without education, or if the education system is very low, a country cannot develop, because at school is where we learn everything we do. From when we go to work in various things, what we used to work is what we have learned. So without going to school, we may not learn other things which may help us in our daily lives. That is what I can say about education. It is the pillar, or it is the initial thing about development. So another question was saying if I want to continue studying. Yes, I want to continue studies. I want to study electrical and electronics engineering, probably abroad, because here in Rwanda we don't have that combination. The question was also asking how we will continue to study. After finishing high school, I'll do various applications. Probably I get admission somewhere, and I pursue with my electrical and electronics engineering. Thank you.
For me, my name is Alban. Basically, what I want to study after I finish high school is civil engineering. It has been a dream of mine since I was young. I used to see my dad working stuff like that, building houses and stuff. So grew in me, and also want to pursue that. Probably also want I might study abroad, because I think it's where they have a higher level of education people. I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, thank you. For me, the first question was asking on my attribute to education. So for me, education, I take it as a crucial thing in a society, because when you are a leader and you look people who are educated, it's more easy than ruling people who are not educated. People who are educated they don't we can say like complicating life. They don't complicate things. So it's important thing in a society to have educated people. The other question was asking the expectation of the future. If I will continue to study, yes, I will continue. And in my dreams, I dream to be a civil engineer. That's what I have a passion in. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think I'm not answer the first question because my fellow brother there answered the attribute of education. He said it is the pillar of development. So I'm gonna move to the second question. Well, my dream, I dream to continue my studies too. I don't plan to drop out of school. So my dream, I want to study the computer engineering in college. So I look forward to my brother as a role model because he's applied to computer things. He's done there intensely. So me too. I took the example from him, and I want to go forward with that faculty. So I want to go on with the computer engineering. So that is my answer. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Anyone else?
Me, if you want.
You can go.
Yeah, I am Lorenzo, and I am from Milazzo, and I attend the scientific high school in Palomeni, like Virginia, Emilia, and Ludovica. And I have decided, since I started high school, to give education an important role in my life. This is why I am enrolled in the student in a student union called Rete Studenti Medi, which deals with the protection of all students, which most of all is bidding for a equal and right education right for all. I have set myself various objectives with regard to my school career. I would like to continue studying even after high school, taking the path to university in the faculty of law, and then perhaps studying to work as an international speaker. And I think that in my future, in my work future, I'm gonna have a lot of opportunities to bring my country, as I said before, and as Virginia said before, a free, a equal, and a right education for all people. Thanks.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
If you want, I can add something else about
Yes.
what I want to do in my future. Okay. I believe that education is fundamental to every human being in order to provide knowledge and also reasoning. Therefore, according to me, in each country, education must be one of the top priorities. First of all, the child has to be educated, to be respectful toward authorities and rules, and also has to develop a sense of duty. And moreover, a child can reach maturity only through education. Personally, I would like to go to university and become a dentist one day. In fact, I love working with babies, and becoming a dentist will allow me to fix babies' dental problems. And I've always found fascinating the idea of having the possibility to cure people, and also to give kids a huge smile on their faces. And that's what I would like to do.
That's great. Okay, anyone else?
Yes, I would like to add something about education. So education, in my opinion, has a fundamental role, as Carolina said before, since it gives us the possibility to free ourselves from ignorance. And in my opinion, ignorance can be considered as one of man's worst enemies, as those who are ignorant are more easily manipulated. Education and study helps us to reason and also to open our minds, and it gives us the possibility of discovering new words. And I think that this is something beautiful, and also new cultures, and also entering contact with them, as we are doing right now. And if you have an education, you will always have the possibility of having your own ideas and everything. And the fact that you are informed and educated gives you, for example, the opportunity to read something, reflect on that idea, and express yourself. So education gives you freedom, because it gives you the ability to know. It gives you the opportunity to inform and express yourself in any situation, and also in the right way. And personally, after high school, I'm sure that I want to continue my studies, but I'm still undecided about the choice of the university. And probably I would like to study medicine. But the most important for me is to, I hope to travel in the future a lot. So I would like to find a work that will give me the possibility to travel. So that's all.
Thank you, Anna. I was confused too. Before. Yeah. So, anyone else? Or we can go?
No, but guys of Rwanda are asking, because they are writing something on the chat. How do you pursue with your online studies in Italy? So, I don't know if someone wants to ask, because they are asking.
Sorry, Anna, can you repeat your question, please?
So they are asking how we are organized with online studies and online school. So we are currently attending online classes, and we don't go to school, unfortunately. And so this is the current situation for everyone in Italy, I think. So if someone wants to add something about this topic.
If it's possible, I would like to add something about this and answer to this question. So, of course, in this COVID period, we are attending the online lessons, but as Virginia and also Lorenzo and also everyone else said before, of course, education and school is the mirror of our society, because it is where we learn how to think and how to interact with others in the whole community. And so in this period in particular, we are going through some problems, because the percentage of school dropout is growing more and more, especially in the South Italy, because and is highlighted how the education isn't allowed to everyone, and in Italy, in our country, the right to study isn't for everyone, but is a privilege, because not everyone have the same media to attend the online lesson, because of the connection, because of a lot of things, and so in this situation in particular, we are not on the same. We are not all in the same level, and so there are a lot of social disparity in our country. And I would like to ask the same question to you guys.
Guys from Rwanda?
Okay, so Oh, I'm surprised. I didn't know too that in Italy or another country there could be also the increase in the number of school dropouts, because I thought that that thing was merged in Africa. So in Rwanda, when this pandemic came, so we're forced to go into quarantine. So going to the quarantine, some students got some part-time jobs, they applied for jobs. So when the time of reopening schools came, some students still didn't want to attend to schools, but they remained doing their job. So of course, here too in Rwanda, the school dropouts increased. So it's, sorry? So it's a matter of fact that we too also we are facing a problem of school dropouts increase here in Rwanda. So thank you.
Okay, I'd like to add something from what my friend has said. I think you asked the question of how the pandemic is treating us here in schools, whether we study or whether we're online. What I can tell you is that here in Rwanda, the schools have reopened. We're all at schools. Those who study in boarding, they're boarding, they continue studies like normal. Day schools have also continued. So I've tried to limit the spread of the virus in schools as long as there are no viruses in schools and we remain contained there. Nothing happens. So we're studying.
Yeah, thank you. About the problem of the pandemic in our country, yeah, we found that some families were depending on, like my fellow said, some students, instead of studying, revising, they kept finding for jobs to do during pandemic period, when we were in the lockdown. So some of the families were depending on those part-time jobs from students, which made even students not going back to school, because as they are the one to support their families, they cannot go back to school as parents are not working because of the pandemic. So some students were obliged to remain working instead of going back to school. Another thing is that we have a problem of impregnation of young girls during this pandemic period of coronavirus. Many young girls got impregnated, which made them drop out of schools. Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Anna who asked the question, how if we do online courses during time of quarantine? I hope that was the question. Yeah, here it's very difficult because many people don't have accessibility on internet and electronic devices. So it was not very easy unless on those schools which are more developed. Because here in Rwanda, there is very different between schools. Some schools seem to be somehow improved, other look somehow still poor. So it was very difficult for those poor schools. But for developed one, they used to do, yeah.
Thank you for answering.
Anyone else wants to add something else about the situation, about the pandemic, how the pandemic has affected the right to study?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
So in my country, the right to study is indeed protected, even though there have been, and still unfortunately, episodes which seem to want to place the student group at the lowest level in our society. I think that because of the pandemic, school as an organization has been penalized absolutely too much. I think every single student has been penalized in terms of teaching and understanding. Fortunately, I can say that thanks to the willpower and the small aid provided by the government in terms of funds, we have been able to maintain contact with professors and with our mates, fortunately, by telematic means. If you permit me, I would say that telematic means will never be able to replace teaching in presence, because especially in my country, and I think in Rwanda too, there have been so many episodes of problems in technological terms. For example, even in my school, there has been problems like students that didn't have and don't have the technological instruments to attend the online lessons. So in our country, in Italy, that is considered today the mother of the culture. There are many students, unfortunately, that there have been privated of the educate right, and we like students has the organization of Rete Studenti Medi. We are we are worried about that, because in the 21st century, I think that these facts could not exist. Thank you.
Can I add something? Thank you. Before Rwandan guys highlighted the fact that during this pandemic time, so many students, so many young people decide to leave school in order to look for a job to sustain the family. I felt this problem really familiar, because here in Italy, especially here in South Italy, early school leaving is one of the main problems school has to challenge with, especially during this pandemic time. The percentage of school dropout between 14 and 18 years old student population increased in a scary way, and I think that we have to focus on this problem. We have to analyze why so many opportunity to have a future, because in other terms, this is what school and education is. And if here in Sicily, school here in Sicily, but also in Italy, but I feel the situation of the part of nation I live in. So here in South Italy, education means also something else. Means also the possibility to go away also from criminal association. Here, I don't want to focus on a bad stereotype of Italy mafia and something like this, because it's not like this. We have to admit that times have changed, but it is still here. And education is one of the best instruments, is one of mafia's biggest enemy, because education, as some of you said before, gives us the power to think about things that happens around us, and everybody who think about a truly bad phenomenon like this get some conclusion against this phenomenon, but it's still it is still here, and the fact that so many of us decide to leave this opportunity, especially during this pandemic period, in order to support their family, because the situation we are living in is truly penalizing, as we know, so many families. Job loss is one of the principal themes we can hear about in all the news programs, but today is at the center of the debate. Is very sad that young people like us have to leave these rights. It's something truly sad that I think government but also us also we that maybe don't have to do this. Maybe thanks to our family, we have the opportunity to continue that almost normally in this pandemic time of education. We have to think about people that don't have our same opportunities.
Thanks to all. Okay, so anyone else wants to add something else about the right to education in this pandemic situation? We can go on. Okay, so as we know, the Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights guarantee the right to education to everybody. So human rights should be applied everywhere and to everyone, but often this is not the case. So is the right to study respected in your country? Who wants to answer?
Me. Hi. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. So first of all, I'm Ludovica. I'm from Milazzo, Sicily, and we're in Liceo Pollomani, Scientific High School. I think that in my country, the right to education in general, we can say that is recognized. But as Virginia said, and as Amelia and Lorenzo said, we are a part of Rete degli Studenti Medi. And so we think that our aim is still far away, because the pandemic, this situation is a proof of our problems. I think the pandemic has affected social relations more than anything. And I think also that all schools should be provided with an efficient internet network. I don't know if in every school is actually like this. So I would like to ask to the Rwanda guys if they know the situation. Okay, thank you.
So, sorry, I didn't hear very well your question, but were you asking if we too, the right to study is respected in our country?
Yes. In general, I asked.
And so in general, so the government of Rwanda has put all his force in increasing the number of schools. So I can say that yes, the right to study in our country is kind of respected. Though there is still the problem in the giving the quality education that the government has tried so hard to solve that problem. And in addition to that point, the government of Rwanda has put the measures so that every Rwandan children, regardless to the economic status, regardless to the physical or mental abilities, should pave a way to get into school without any restrictions, without any like discriminations and whatever problem that might cause a children to drop out of school or not attend to school. So I think my brother here could also give you some points.
So what I can add on that point, the government of Rwanda have put many effort in protecting the right of children to study, but it was not like that before. You can see in the generations of 1990s, Rwandans were very few who can afford to study. Like there was no gender balance in 1990s, where girls were somehow restricted from going to school, and some boys who were not brilliant, they were forced to be a cowboy, like cowboys, like helping their fathers in work in the fields, things like that. But now in these generations, like from 2000, people now, the Rwandan government have put more effort in promoting children to go to school. Now it's against the law to prevent children from going to school. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Okay. Anyone else want to add something? Or we can go on. Okay. So what do you think can be done to improve schools, especially in the most complicated places like suburbs of a big city or villages from the urban centers?
If you want, I can tell something about this topic.
You can.
Okay, so in the most difficult zones or in the suburbs, it is essential to increase, in my opinion, the educational effort and also the opportunities for cultural and artistic development. So I think that children have the right to discover and also realize their attitudes and their skills. So it will be very important to be able to give further aid to families with few financial resources. And it is necessary, in my opinion, to propose activities that improve the participation of a community. And in my opinion, a possible initiative is the opening of schools in the afternoon in order, for example, to make them a point of reference and a place to meet. So, for example, a great thing to do would be organize afternoon study groups or sport activities, I don't know, workshop, or that's it. Or also it would be advisable to carry out projects concerning music, dance, and theater too. So all the activities aimed at bringing out skills of everyone. And by my point of view, another possible initiative to take would be, for example, to organize orientation activities for young people that have to choose what to do in their future. It would be very useful.
Thank you, Carolina.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else? Guys from Rwanda, what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, for us, what we think that can be done to improve on schools, mostly in the suburbs and stuff like that. Firstly, there's the issue of having enough schools for people to actually study. Because in the suburbs down there, in the villages, you might actually find a child who has to walk for at least 5 kilometers before they can reach school. So first thing that has to be done is to provide them with those schools. After having those schools, you also have to train the teachers, because you can find a teacher is there, they teach in elementary school, they teach in secondary, in high schools, they teach in middle school, but they don't know what they're teaching. They have no idea, it's basic knowledge, right? Stuff that we ourselves can do. And lastly, the last thing that is needed is to provide them with the materials. If they study physics, provide them with a laboratory for physics and chemistry and biology and everything like that. If they're studying computer, give them the computers and give them Wi-Fi and everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So what I may add from what my colleague have just said about the trainings which should be given to teachers. Recently, there was conducted a survey where teachers were given exams, various exams, the SATs exams, I guess. Yeah, SAT exams. I hope you know SATs, right? All right. They were given those exams so to see their levels of education, but more than a half of the teachers failed. This justifies that these teachers need those trainings. Yeah. I was reinforcing his point. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We can go on with the last question. Okay, so what do you think the building bonds between students from different schools, like on this occasion, can be beneficial to your growth?
If you want.
Answering that question.
Go.
Oh, okay, I can say that it's yes, because when bonds between students from different countries, when we meet, we share experience, and it's through experience that we grow. So those bonds between students from different countries is very important. So we should focus on them because we learn from each other and we get experiences that nobody could get on his own. So I think that can be my point. Thank you.
Virginia, if you want, you can go.
Yes. I'm sorry before I was interrupting, but okay. I'd like to share an observation that I made some times ago, because my organization that I already mentioned, so I don't do it anymore. I won't do it anymore. He's a part of many organizations that that are joined by other nation student organization. Sorry for the words joke, but it's so. For example, the Global Student Forum, and all their occasion of meeting, the occasion of share your experience with a great opportunity to grow up, also your idea, because and I think it's important in the future to challenge with all the problem of our society. In this case, we are talking specifically about education, and during that meeting, a lot of us, personally, I joined the 2 of these meetings, and the point I was talking before is that in the future we have to challenge with this kind of problem, not like singular, not like a person, not like a single nation, but we have to have a global view, because if in the real world, meaningful real world, the world of political, the world of economy, that practically is the world on which is based actually at the moment the society, we have to have the same point of view. We have to challenge with the problem, because education problem, as we saw during this dialogue, because I think it's not so strange that Rwandan guys basically have the same problem we have here in Italy. And I think that you could ask basically to every part of the world, and you will find the same problem, because we are all under the same sky. We are all under the same system that all over the world has basically the same problems, the same mistakes, and we have to fight for them. And we have to fight for them, especially if we are not victims of it. Like I was saying before, personally, I didn't saw I didn't saw all that effects of the pandemic, of the pandemic, of all these things. I luckily have a family behind me that gives me the opportunity to continue my life normally. But I know that there are so many people extremely near me that don't have the same opportunity. So I think that sharing all these experiments is fundamental for everybody to know what there's near you. And Africa, Asia, America today is near us, because with globalization, distance are being cut out, extremely cut out. So I think we are really lucky today to have the opportunity to start building, just talking. It's a first step, bridges together to increase, to improve our knowledge, our capacity to look forward, to look in the future. In fact, we are truly grateful to be here today, and we will have other opportunities like this in our future, because it's very important.
Anyone else want to add something?
Yeah, I want to answer the question. I think that we are once again faced with the same dynamics. A school on which adequate investment has not been made, structural and transport deficiencies, a DAD that does not guarantee the right to study while constantly leaving someone behind. In the face of institutions that continue to be self-referential, we need to make room for ourselves by creating places for discussion and debate. So I think that opportunities like these are fundamental and important for the personal and the cultural growth of every single student. In fact, when I heard about this initiative, I immediately spoke out to participate, because I believe that it can serve as a training experience, obviously in positive terms. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Anyone else?
Yes, if you'd like, I would like to have something.
Yes.
Okay, so the question was if, according to us, it is these exchanges are important. So I would like to say that, in my opinion, exchange programs with students from other countries are fundamental. I honestly felt encouraged to discover more about various parts of the world by talking to many people that I had the opportunity to meet over the years. For example, people from Great Britain, United States, Spain, Mexico, France, and now I have also the opportunity to meet all of you from Rwanda, which is great and exciting. And also I would like to say that discovering and meeting other cultures is extremely important for the education and the open-mindedness of a human being. And I was always amazed by languages and how they help me to interact with people from all over the world. I think that being able to speak more than one language is very important for my growth, as I have the opportunity to become a global citizen. And moreover, I get to learn more about the social and economic situations in the other countries, and that helps me grow and be fully aware of all the global issues of today, which, as we said, are lots.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Yes, I agree with Carolina, of course. I think that it can be particularly beneficial, as it is important to be informed about how education is being managed around the world. And it is important to be aware of the problems that exist from this point of view, from the point of view of education all over the world. And nothing, I think that it's very important. So it's very important to know about the problems all over the world, about education, in order to do something if we can do something. And that's all.
Okay. If anyone wants to add something.
May I?
I wanted to add something.
Oh, sorry. You go, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I was saying about why is it good for students from other cities around the world to be connected with us, or why is it important that students from various regions may be connected? So what I may say is that when students are connected, it enables us to compare how our ways of studying and their ways, and to make a comparison which may also help the education to develop. Like an example, if I'm comparing the education in Rwanda with the one in Italy, and we see the advantages you have that we don't have, this will help our education system to be improved. Yeah, it is one of the best things which may help the education system of a country to grow by learning from what others has already achieved that have not achieved. Yeah, thank you.
I would like to ask a question to the Rwandese boys. So before you said that you all want to study engineering in the future, computing engineering, cyber and electronic engineering. And that's really interesting for me to hear, because me too, I would like to study at university a scientific subject. I still don't know which one, whether maths or physics or me too engineering, I don't know. But I would like to ask you, why would you like to study engineering, and what encourages you to study the scientific subjects? And also, if at school you study many scientific subjects, and how do you study them? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. In our education system, we study in options. So in here in our schools, we have scientific options. Like we all four, we study mathematics, physics, and chemistry. We choose options when we are in senior 3. We start by options by senior 4, senior 5, and senior 6. After senior 6, we approach our university studies. So what encourages us to study scientific options is that here in Rwanda, we have few scientists, I mean. There are not many people who studied scientific options, so we're interested in order to promote scientific studies here in Rwanda. But the problem we have, our universities are not able to teach scientific studies on international level. So many Rwandans who study scientific options, they have to go, in many cases, they go in Western world, like USA or other European countries like Russia. When they get an opportunity, they go there because it is still rare that Rwandans are in scientific options.
So what I can add on, you asked that what motivates us to study scientific lessons or programs. So on my side, I can say that I'm motivated by a proverb that says that there is no gain without pain. You find that many people fear approaching these scientific lessons because they think that they're difficult. And in reality, you won't ever achieve a goal without passing through the pain. So me too, I take examples from people around me. For example, take example from my brother. I see what he has achieved, and I say that, why can't I also achieve what he has achieved and get on with it and surpass him? So it's from that point, I also started learning the scientific programs. I saw that they're interesting, and if I go further with them, I'll achieve something great and something few people on this world have achieved. So I can say that that's my motivation. Thank you.
Before I forgot, another thing that motivates us here in Rwanda, like when people are constructing roads of government in Rwanda, we see many Chinese and other foreigners. They are the ones who construct our roads. And we think, why can't we do it for ourselves? So that also motivates us that we are able, we can do it for ourselves. That's why we are more interested. Thank you.
Okay, so if you have any question for your Rwandan or Italian colleagues, now is the time.
So the question I can ask to people from Italy, I think we have different education systems. So I wanted to ask, someone from Italy to tell me more about their education system and tell me if he or she likes that education system. So that is my question. Thank you.
I think I can answer to the question. All right. I don't know how education system is organized in Rwanda, so I give back also the question to you. But here in Italy, school is organized on 4 period on 4 different kinds, as we can say, of school. And you start when you are 3 and you finish theoretically when you are 18, 19. The first step is between when you are 3 till when you are 5. You go to the kindergarten, we can say in English. We call it scuola materna. And there teachers try to make the children in contact with the basic knowledge, like drawing, like knowing colors, something like that. Then you go on the primary school that lasts 5 years, since you are 6 until you are 10, 11. There you learn how to read, how to write, and math basic. You know also about history, literature, but something like a basic level. And here in Italy, in the past, for example, my grandparents, people, especially in people who didn't live in the big cities, used to leave school at this point. Normally, and here it's really common to find people that left school at the primary. But if you continue, you go in the middle school that lasts 3 years, and there you continue analyzing things you have already studied in the primary school, but at another level, and the same things in the high school. That it's the following one, that lasts 5 years. But in Italy, there are different kinds of high schools. The principal division, the principal difference is between the Liceo, the Liceo, and Liceo is in French, not in English, and professional high school. Professional high school give you the opportunity to go working immediately after high school. Instead, at the Liceo, you need to go to the university after it if you want to have a job in your future. Basically, before, Liceo doesn't give you the technical knowledge. Gives you basic general knowledge about math, especially humanistic knowledge. For example, I attended a Liceo and I study Latin, history, Italian, math, but I don't have the specific subjects, technical subjects. If I want to specialize in something that in my future will be my job, I need to go to the university. Personally, you asked if I like this system. Personally, I don't. Basically, for a simple reason. And I don't like how high school is organized because here in Italy, and I was talking about this, I was debating about this today with my parents. Basically, in Italy, when you leave high school, when you go to the university or whatever you decide to do after high school, what you did before does not count, absolutely. So if now at high school, I am a great student, does not make difference if I'm not, and this is sad. But I know that that this team is not so simple, and I don't want to turn back on the fact that not everybody has the same opportunity. So we can't judge just about your grades, your marks. I'm sorry, because we know that the situation is not so simple. But another problem, in my opinion, education system in Italy has, and this continues also at the university, is that in Italy the education is truly based on the theoric knowledge. Practical knowledge are not so attentioned. But at the same time, in the professional high school, there is the opposite problem, that the theoretical education is completely absent, and they just have the technical and practical skills. And I think that it would be necessary that these two kinds of skills and knowledge were like mixed. People have to have both of them, and students have to be the same, because at the moment, person that comes from here in Italy, a professional high school, at 18 years, can work. Me, that I come from a Liceo, I can't, because basically my preparation is like nothing for the job world. But the problems here are so many, and I think the street is so long. But and I could stay here talking for hours, but it's not the time. And there in Rwanda, I give you back the question.
Rwandan guys.
Yeah, thank you. For me, I'm going to explain the education system in Rwanda back here at home. Basically, we have like two systems. There is the national system and the Cambridge system, which the people from the Western world put for us. Most of us, we study the national system, where we start from kindergarten, it's 3 years. Then you go to elementary school, which we call primary, that's 6 years. After finishing that, there's middle school, which is part of secondary. Secondary is 6 years. The first 3 years are middle school, the last are high school. Then you progress to, sorry, I had forgot something. When you're going to high school, you choose a combination. It's like 3 main subjects which you undertake and other additional subjects. Like for us, we chose physics, chemistry, and math. Others can choose maybe math, physics, and geography. Others can choose subjects which include only languages like English, French, and literature, stuff like that. Then after we go to university, and that's the first part of the national system. There's also the Cambridge system, which I think you know, but if you don't, basically it's almost the same as us. There's kindergarten, there's elementary school, there's high school, but in high school, for them, they choose how can I say, the humanities and sciences. If you go in sciences, you study everything regarding sciences, if the physics, chemistry, biology, math, and stuff like that, computer sciences. The other part is languages. No, sorry, humanities. Humanities, you find their languages, you find their all the other stuff like geography and history. Then it's over. I think that's it. Because I heard that most of the education systems are almost the same. There's not much I can add. But for us, we have one major challenge. Our education is not really that high in standards compared to other countries. We're still low. If you might have the same content but not studied in the same ways. We don't have adequate materials for what we need. Like most schools here don't have laboratories where we can do those experiments and stuff like that. It's not everyone that can acquire them, not everyone that can acquire Wi-Fi to study different stuff, which is also required by our curriculum, but we don't have the materials for that. I think that's all.
Okay, so if anyone has other questions.
I would like to ask, how does the evaluation system work in your school?
We didn't get to all the question.
Sorry?
We didn't get to all the question you're asking.
Oh, I asked, what about your evaluation system in your school?
Okay, evaluation is like exams.
Yes, like exams, or do you have marks? How do they evaluate you?
Okay, like at the end of elementary school, which is primary, we have something which we call the national exam. It's an exam at the national level where all the candidates at the end of the elementary level, they do the exam and they evaluate every one of you. That's for the end of elementary school. The same is done for high school and it's done for middle school. After you completing those exams, they assign you schools depending on how you performed. If you've performed well, they kind of send you like in a school which teaches people have performed well, although that has gradually decreased these past few years. And in the Cambridge system, of course, for them, they do the IGSCE, which is the international exam that the people from Cambridge do. I think that's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there aren't any questions, are there any other questions?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. All those options that you study in Italy, I would like to know if all those have opportunities to have jobs. Because here in Rwanda, there are some options that people don't study because they know after finishing they will not get jobs. I would like to know, all options there in Italy have an opportunity to have job in the future. I have another questions. I want to know, how does climate affect your studying? Because here in Africa, or especially in Rwanda, in the equatorial region, we have a favorable climate. We don't have those things of winter, snows. So I want to know how the climate affects your studying. Thank you.
How climate affects us when we are studying? This was the question.
If you want, I can say something. Okay. So in reality, climate doesn't influence everything or school in general, because it doesn't depend on what is outside, because apart from this situation where we have quarantine and COVID-19, usually we go to school unless there is a very serious climate situation, like for example heavy snow. But here in Rome we don't have snow. Usually in Italy there is snow in the northern part, so unless there is a serious climate situation, we go to school every day. So this.
Yes.
But the same, I hear just only that in so many part of South Italy here suffer from of the problem of flood, of when it rains too much and the rivers, even extremely little rivers, immediately spread all their water in the city. For example, where I live, we have this problem. We have the problem of river. It seems strange, something of the past, but it's something we have in winter, in autumn. We face with it so many times for here. Yes, but luckily it doesn't influence my and our study so much. But sometimes I hear I can't go to school because of it.
May I add something? So no, climate doesn't really affect us, but with global warming, rainfalls and everything is increasing. So also in summer, for example, in Rome, I speak for Rome, when in summer usually we always have a really warm, hot weather with sunny skies. Lately, the last few years, also we have experienced a strange weather in summer, like a lot of rain, like for example similar also to the equatorial weather, so with sunny skies and maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes after it changed rains. So I wanted to ask you, how is global warming affecting Rwanda? Thank you.
Yeah, here in Rwanda, we are not so much suffering global warming. Here, apart from some changes in the climate and in weather conditions, but we don't suffer much from global warming. But I have the first question. I was asking if all studies that you can attend in Italy, if you can get an opportunity to have jobs. If someone can answer me, please welcome.
Yeah, before you answer, I would like to clarify the question. Like here in Africa, most of us are forced to study sciences, or our parents advise us to study sciences because they are the ones which are more beneficial, which enables us to have or to get many opportunities with work. Like we were asking, how does it work in Italy? If anything you may study, you may get an opportunity to work. Like you may not lose job depending on what you studied. Yeah. Thank you.
If anybody isn't talking. Yes, oh dear. Almost, because yes, there's the stereotype that if you start some kind of studies, especially humanistic studies like philosophy or art history, you'll have so much difficulty to have a job. Instead, that you start studying, for example, engineer or a more specific. No, you're in Italy practically just engineer. Engineer is viewed like the kind of study you will surely have a work after it, or medicine, for example. But I don't think it's actually like it's told. I think that if you have if you're a great student, if you truly improve yourself, and if you really look for a job, if you put passion in what you do, in what you're studying, you will find a job. You need that. It's true. Job is a problem because so many people don't have a one, but in general, I think that if you really improve yourself, you will find it in a way or another. If you study, if you read. But yes, there are, it's normal, I think also. There are some kind of studies that require less difficulty to find a job than others.
Thanks to all. There is another question. No? Okay, so thanks to all. It was a pleasure to coordinate this meeting. Guys?
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Marika, now it's your turn.
Oh, now it's time teachers, if they want. And Father Pascal. Is here? Huh? Father Pascal? No? Okay.
Not around, but the Pascal is not around.
Okay, no problem. Finish this meeting. Thank you all students for this moment, very important. And I wish Animoros wish Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and see you very soon in Rwanda. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
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 Aspettate che saluto anche voi, ragazzi italiani.
Grazie mille, perché comunque
qualche giorno di ritrovarci tutti qui a Messina, alla nostra associazione.
Ma scusi, ci saranno altri meeting del genere?
Sicuramente.
Allora ragazzi, facciamo un attimo.
Il primo di una lunga serie, speriamo.
Esatto.
Allora, noi intanto ringraziamo tutti per chi ha resistito fino a questo momento, chi ci ha seguito. Non sono stati pochi a seguire questa nostra chiacchierata. Conforto Carolina che sicuramente noi vorremmo proseguire con questo esperimento che abbiamo fatto oggi in maniera un po' artigianale, e poi lo faremo anche meglio. Poi comunque eventualmente vi diamo l'opportunità anche di scambiarvi un po' le email tra di voi, se volete continuare a comunicare, perché secondo me potrebbe essere veramente una cosa importante. vi ringraziamo. Noi diciamo sempre una cosa nelle nostre riunioni, poi magari Caterina lo traduce meglio, perché me l'ho scritto in inglese, ma preferisco dirlo in italiano, così poi lo dico meglio. Noi diciamo spesso che i ragazzi, le ragazze non sono il futuro, ma sono il presente. Penso che con queste attività noi lo possiamo dimostrare meglio. Molto spesso si dice no, voi siete il futuro, voi siete il futuro. Noi pensiamo che voi siete il presente. Pensiamo che dalla chiacchierata di oggi sono emerse delle cose molto interessanti, di come la diversità, la distanza sono dei concetti molto piccoli rispetto alla voglia di capirsi e alla voglia di avvicinarsi, di creare connessioni nel vero senso della parola. Quindi sicuramente non sarà questa la nostra ultima occasione. Siamo partiti con questo Contaminazioni Feste, probabilmente troveremo altre modalità. Una cosa che dico ai ragazzi italiani, questa può anche non tradurla Caterina, un modo per andare in Rwanda a fare delle attività con i ragazzi ruandesi è quello che ha fatto per esempio Caterina, che ha scelto di trascorrere un anno della sua vita attraverso il servizio civile in Rwanda. Noi nei prossimi giorni, il giorno 17, faremo un meeting proprio qui su YouTube, in cui vi spiegheremo, a chi ci seguirà, come tra i 18 e i 28 anni, qualcuno di voi so che non li ha ancora fatti, però ci si prepara, si può individuare un'occasione del genere per poter trascorrere un anno di esperienza all'estero. Ovviamente noi abbiamo anche l'opportunità di fare dei periodi più ridotti all'estero, quindi c'è modo di connetterci sicuramente su questi strumenti, ma anche di connetterci anche molto più vicino. Do a Caterina l'ultima parola per salutare anche i ragazzi ruandesi, e appena lei finisce io stacco il collegamento su YouTube e poi possiamo anche salutarci qui su Zoom.
Okay, so Rwandan guys, thank you so much for this meeting, and like Domenico said, Anymorollus always closes meetings with you're not the future, but you're the present.
Ok, see you a tutti.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Goodbye, thank you.
Bye.